The Seattle Mariners put up a record of 90 and 72 last year in 2022, and that allowed them to break their curse almost of not making the playoffs. It was 20 years since they had last made the playoffs, and they finally did it in 2022, which is a big success for them just to even make the playoffs after missing it for that long. However, they did lose in the ALDS to their division rival, Houston Astros. Heading into 2023, the future looks bright, and they're going to look to improve on that 2022 season. So let's get straight into the Seattle Mariners team profile right here on Bleacher Brawls. My name is Derek. I'm here with Kassem, and let's get straight into it. 90 and 72, as I said, was the record for the Seattle Mariners last year. And it was a very successful year. Had a lot of good players make leaps, had some big debuts. Obviously, you get the Rookie of the Year, J-Rod, putting up a nice big year for them. So I'll head straight over to Kassem. You're looking at this team. Who are three players they expect to have big impacts? And out of those three, who's going to have the biggest impact for the Seattle Mariners team?
Well, the biggest, there's three players that I really like about this team, and that's, number one, Julio Rodriguez, the rookie, the phenom, the stud. My number two is Luis Castillo, that they acquired last year during the trading deadline. And the other one is going to be, I would have to say, Robbie Ray. He's going to have to really step it up this year to be part of that pitching staff, and he has to have a bounce back after a disappointing year, especially what happened to him in the playoffs. I think the biggest impact with this team this year is going to be my Cy Young Award winner for this year, and that's going to be Luis Castillo. I'm a big fan of him. He's the one that put Seattle back on the map, getting them to the playoffs. Castillo has nasty stuff. All he needed was a change of scenery, and I really believe he's the leader of that pitching staff. And no matter how far he goes, that's how the team's going to go. So he's going to have to lead the way, and I believe with his stuff and everything, he's going to really take them to that next level and where they get to go this year.
Yeah, and as you said, get him out of Cincinnati, which is such a hitter-friendly ballpark, especially when it comes to home runs. Getting him out of there is huge. And Seattle's not even that much of a hitter-friendly. It's more of a pitcher-friendly ballpark.
Mhm.
So that definitely helps them for sure. I'm looking at this team. Obviously, you said J-Rod, Castillo, whatever. I'm going to talk about some maybe guys that most baseball fans that are just general baseball fans maybe not don't know at necessarily name value. Ty France, I love him. I think he's going to be really good. You got guys in rotation, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, and I would talk about one of them. However, they have the guy in their bullpen I am so high on, Andres Munoz. I love him to death. Guy is absolute flamethrower. He's got a nasty slider, which he throws a slider like 65% of the time, actually. He throws that slider a lot. But he's nasty, and he was so big for the Mariners. He gave up the walk-off grand slam. Other Red Sox fans like myself know, gave the walk-off grand slam in Boston to Franchi Cordero. After that was lights out the rest of the year. Absolute lights out. I liked him back when he was still in the Padres system, Munoz, and he came over with Ty France in the Aaron Nola trade. He went over to Seattle from the Padres, and Munoz, I think he's great in the back of the bullpen. I don't know if he becomes the closer, or he just stays as that guy who just the biggest moment, you need him in the eighth inning or the seventh inning, just the biggest moment. The team's going to throw him in there because he's their best reliever. And I think he's going to just take another step this year and become even better for this Mariners team in 2023. I think he'll be a huge part.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Seattle's known to strike with gold when it comes to relievers. Anybody that pitches for them in the bullpen, they strike gold with them. They do well. Um, it's going to be part of their key to their season going forward. Pitching staff and bullpen. No, this team is not on the level of the Astros just yet, but this is what they're going to play for. They got to play for that NL West division title, and that's going to have to be their expectation. If you're not winning that division, you got to try to get in the playoffs, which I do believe in. I do believe they're going to be the wild card, and the great acquisition they made this offseason. I mean, getting I'm a big fan of him is Teoscar Hernandez.
Yep.
I love the sign. I love the trade. Another big bat to that lineup to help protect the lineup because they don't have enough, not enough hitters. Like I love Eugenio Suarez, Julio, now Teoscar. I like the acquisition of Colton Wong. Jared Kalenic,
Prove
he has to
himself.
show promise, and I do believe. I think a full year. I think he's going to do very well. I think good riddance that they got rid of Jesse Winker. He was just awful. Um, I like uh I like their catcher. I like Ty France. I like
Yeah,
this team. I like
yeah,
what they're
Kyle
all about.
Raleigh, their
Kyle
catcher.
Riley, there we go.
Raleigh.
Um he's proven now with Tom Murphy coming back from injury. That's another big thing as a backup
Yep.
catcher. Look, this team here, they got everything, and we're 2 months away from the season where they could still add more players. So we'll see what happens with Jerry DePoto's the trade machine magic. So we'll see what happens, and I'm really excited about this team. I really am.
Yeah, I mean, so far this offseason, really the only moves, yeah, they traded for Teoscar Hernandez, and they did trade Jesse Winker and Abraham Toro for Colton Wong. Obviously, you never know what they could do. If they make some massive move, we'll re-record this,
Mhm.
obviously, but they probably won't make any more massive moves before the start of the season. Teams don't like making massive moves at this point for whatever reason, except for the rare occasion. So yeah, I think this definitely. I think touch on that Teoscar Hernandez move. He's going to be massive for them. Bring some very much right-handed pop in that lineup. J. Rod, Ty France, adding Teoscar Hernandez. Get Eugenio Suarez, who yeah, the home run pop might be a little bit down because he's not in Cincinnati anymore, which such a hitter-friendly ballpark.
Yeah.
But he still brings great power. To this lineup, and you start Cal Raleigh's there, and you start looking up and down this lineup, and there aren't too many holes in this lineup, and I think that's going to be big for them. Because they also brought in Colton Wong, like you said. So yeah, it's definitely big. They didn't make too many moves this offseason, but I think just kind of keeping your pieces, adding some complementary pieces. Jesse Winker leaving, I think. Winker was really good in Cincinnati, especially against right-handed pitchers. Had his struggles against lefties, still does. But Cincinnati very hitter-friendly ballpark, especially when it comes to home runs. I say that all the time about Cincinnati.
Yeah.
You might be. I said this with Brandon Drury in our Angels video. Can the bat play outside of that just home run paradise in Cincinnati? And I think that was a bit of a problem maybe for Jesse Winker. So yeah, definitely. But I'm definitely excited to see what this Mariners team do because they have a whole bunch of talent there. Um, so let's kind of relay that, and because they didn't have many offseasons, let's relay this talent that they have into their expectations for 2023. It's playoffs and get deep, try and make a deep run, right?
Yeah, that's the way I'm looking at it. I can't put World Series just yet, but this team, it's going to be like if you can't win the division, you got to get in the playoffs. Now, my expectations for them, yeah, they should be the wild card team. I still got Houston number one because they're still the team to beat, but Seattle should make the wild card. And for me, what they showed last year, coming back beating Toronto and getting to that divisional round against the Astros, it was very close, all three games. I mean, it could have gone either way. If it wasn't for Robbie Ray giving up the grand slam to Yordan Alvarez, game-winning home run. The second game, same thing, was very close. The third game, when they got swept, it went so many innings. It could have gone either way, but Seattle was on that step hold, and I really believe they could take it to another level. I can't say World Series, but if they catch lightning in a bottle, yeah, this team could carry themselves into the World Series because I do believe they got that potential. They got that lineup. I like their pitching staff. If they're all healthy, Robbie Ray bounces back. The bullpen is it's lights out. The bullpen's always been lights out. And I love what they got. I just really do. I'm really excited. I think all hands down, I think this team, if they're hot going into the playoffs, lightning in a bottle strikes, they can go to a World Series. But my
Yeah.
expectations for them ain't the World Series. They're just maybe you can get to an AL championship and try to progress and getting moving forward.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's fair. I think for me, I literally wrote it down like they need to push for a division, and that doesn't mean win the division, but be in the fight for most of that season and, push the Astros and not just be like that distant second place team, right? Try and push the Astros a little bit. And, maybe, especially if they got off to a hot start, maybe they do win the division, which would be massive. That would be massive. But, get into the playoffs and try and make a deep run. I think that's kind of the thing here. Get into the playoffs is like your bare minimum for the Seattle team that they need to get in the playoffs. And then, they have enough talent where, and this is any playoff team, you catch lightning in a bottle, anything can happen. So that's the thing. Just hopefully you're healthy when you get to the playoffs, and then you can they have the pitching staff, especially if Robbie Ray pitches well and has a
Oh yeah.
bounce back year. They definitely have the pitching staff to go deep. So I think that's really what you're looking at for the Seattle team expectation wise.
Yeah, they for the pitching staff, Castillo, Robbie Ray, George Kobe, Logan Gilbert. These guys, they got to kind of like take a step up. But their bullpen, like I said, it's lights out. I know it could be for any team to be lightning in a bottle and make a run, but this team can push the Astros to the brink of maybe winning their division. I do believe Seattle has it. I just don't think they're just as talented as Houston. But that doesn't mean I'm counting them out. But if I had to make a prediction for them for this upcoming season, I have them as my wild card team. And I do think they can make a deep run and they're going to really show progress. And like I said, I think Julio is going to be in the MVP conversation. Castillo's my Cy Young Award winner. I love what they got.
Yeah, 100%. This Mariners team has, all the potential in the world if guys play well and everything goes right. And I think that's the perfect note to wrap this thing up on the Seattle Mariners team profile. So, Seattle Mariners fans, let us know your thoughts in the comments on the Mariners. The first link in the description will be to all the team profiles we've done. So, check those out, whether you're new, just getting this right as it's new, or you getting this a little bit down the road, a little bit after. All the ones that we've done will be up on that playlist, so check that out. Make sure to check out all our other links in the description of Beach Ball's website, podcast, Instagram, and Twitter, plus all the crew's Twitters. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified whenever we post. And that's the right place to wrap it up. So thanks for tuning in to Bleacher Brawls. My name is Derek. I'm here with Kassem, and we'll see you next time.